Okay, let me take the book, because
I was gonna say,
need to hit
don't
things
make me
with
do
a
it.
sword.
do we not keep pressing forward?
No, we have to go back around and bring this to the guy back in the camp. To actually address that, the bonus story in this one is we found this pig named Oink, and we decided to bring Oink with us as we fought through all the undead, and then we got to like that little gate fortress back up there and found Oink's owner, who was like, "Hey, my dad or something is trying to wants to translate this Orion tome." Again, that kingdom that recently got Atlantis in the interim between the tutorial mission, like the tutorial area, and now when the Char invaded.
I have no idea where this is going.
So we got that tome from that Orion shipwreck, and now we're gonna bring it back. Also, the undead seem to have some kind of connection to ore here, which is interesting.
Okay.
Definitely not something that's going to come up later.
I think I missed what the relevance of the pig was, because I was trying so hard to connect it to the other thing.
There is none.
There really isn't that much of any shit. Oh no, not another chain lightning.
How the fuck do we know the pig's called Oink?
Because that was the name of the pig. You were
Did he
you were busy
introduce
being
himself? I
like,
guess.
I don't know. I mean, we live in an MMO where it's possible to just know the names of things because you can see it floating above them.
We're just not.
I suppose if you want like I suppose if you want the Watsonian answer, no, we did not know the pig's name was Oink until we brought the pig to the pig's owner.
Is this technically an MMO?
Oh, let's not have that fucking argument.
No, I do want to have that argument. I'm fascinated.
Oh, man.
I'm sure people have opinions about this, right?
This
That's
was
pretty
a
much the opinion.
a big thing that people were complaining about. Well, not complaining about, arguing about on the internet is, does Guild Wars count as an MMORPG? And my stance was always like, I never really saw the point of distinguishing this game from other MMOs, and it seemed to exist as a talking point, largely not as a means of like analyzing the differences in genres between this and, say, World of Warcraft, and much more about like winning dumb internet dick measuring contests about whether like does anything that this game's accomplished actually count because it's not an MMO technically, air quotes.
If anyone says, if you ever refer to Guild Wars as an MMO and everyone says, well, I don't think it is one, allow me to explain. Just break eye contact and go back to whatever you would be doing if they weren't talking.
That
This
has
is
been my
important because
general
it's going to come up in
strategy
your daily
with
life.
this. Yeah, it's as we all know, the arguments over this have been legendary. No facet of the internet can escape it.
Hell, yeah, I was at the gas station the other day and the cashier was like, do you think Guild Wars is an MMO? Because I'm not sure.
I think in general, whenever it comes to like video game
Are we
taxonomy. Yeah. Video game taxonomy, like, is this a video game? What genre is it? I admit that most of the time I don't really give a shit at all. Not even like in a polite, well, it's not something that bothers me way. Like I'm a little bit bothered that some of my time in my life just has to go to processing the auditory input I'm getting, or like reading these words before deciding to move to another page. Like I regret that level of necessary investment. Except, I will say, the closest I could kind of like back my way into caring about this is it pisses me off to no end every time I go on Steam and try to tag search for detective games, because no one... It's like everyone turns into a moon man.
Oh boy.
That cannot identify why someone would be looking for a detective game, except that there's a character in it that's a detective.
In Cyberpunk, you do some detective stuff. Is that a
Cyberpunk's on the
game?
detective sort.
Yeah,
Is
no,
it
I
really?
mean, I guess
I'm almost
I guess
certain
if you
it is,
wanna-
yeah.
argue
I wouldn't be
against
surprised.
my general maximalist stance of whenever someone asks, is this an X genre, I just say yes, is the fucking Steam tag search system where everything is everything all the time, and so it's impossible to search for anything.
Like, the last time I was on there, well, like, actually every time I've gone on there, at the very top of the sort has been a Batman Arkham game. And that I find so fucking annoying, because, like, oh, you do detective shit in that game. Like, you wouldn't... You throw a harpoon at a pig in Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments, you wouldn't call it a whaling game.
I mean, I am assuming that your platonic ideal of what should appear at the top of that category is just like one of the Frogware's fucking Sherlock games.
I don't think you could call something a detective game unless it feels as much like a detective game as the least of the Frogware's Sherlock Holmes titles.
For long speeches, but I'll make you this.
Is this Steve Blum?
Why doesn't...
Help me fight these
Yes,
undead.
he is the voice of like
Your people passage
all
into
the
Lion's
dudes
Arch.
in Prophecies.
And
He's the voice of the male,
Necromancer,
like the male
character.
player character. No, it's like the entire, like all there. It's just one voice.
Oh, is it
for
every
female
male?
characters, one voice for male. Yeah.
Are you sure?
But yes, and then in Nightfall, which maybe is the reason you don't like Nightfall, he gets changed and it's not Stephen Bloom voicing your character anymore. Why doesn't he get a boob window is my question. The other priests get boob windows. I mean, I guess he's not a priest, but still.
Are we engaging too many groups here?
No, we've got a bunch of NPCs, and they're gonna go for it regardless, so...
I'm belagged. I'm deeply belagged.
How do you pronounce Justiciar Hablion? Justiciar?
I believe it's
Hablion?
Justiciar and Halbion.
I don't like this.
Oh no, I guess it is Hablion.
Leave
isn't
him
it?
a bad Yelp review.
Justiciar is the name of a... I have a Dungeon Classic tier named Dormus Justiciar, so I've been saying it Justiciar. I don't know if it's correct.
Incidentally,
Just
I saw you posted the character art, and that character in particular just has the most Rutskarn character energy I think I've seen in a very long time. We gotta
That
go.
elf more
Havlion
than-
is just up here, and he's going that way.
The elf more so than the cleric.
Really, I think the cleric of Cthulhu is just like...
Oh yeah,
I guess maybe it's just the way you draw him.
No,
but
that is
yeah.
what I meant. The cleric of Cthulhu. Yeah, the deal with that character is that he rolled very bad stats and he has a terrible luck score, and his luck score applies to all of his saving throws. And is the background he rolled as urchin. And it's about him like getting hired for like the first mission. The funnel for that party was that they got hired to do a job that turned out to be like them being sold as sacrifices. So
as you do.
I just kind of the premise of the character is just like this guy has the most baroque, awful life where just like everything that's happened to him is just like something that Charles Dickens would write after hitting the pipe, like. And then he found religion after all this, but the religion he found was Cthulhu, and it's the worst one. Like the Dungeon Crawl Classics being
Worst
what
or
it
best?
is, almost any time I can roll a spell badly enough that he's just sent to Rilia instantly with no saving throw and like is gone, and that's just the end of that character.
I suppose the fact that he's still around does mean that he has some luck.
Yeah, he has luck 8 right now, which is not horrible, but definitely not what you want applying to your fucking saving throws. Also, he can't regain luck. Almost every character in Dungeon World Classics can regain luck. Clerics of Cthulhu can't because luck is like your sanity.
Which group are we going for here? Our guys over there are going for them.
Let's back up our boys.
I had to respond to whichever one. Hablian is. Where is he?
I assume
Did
he's
we
this
leave
guy
him
getting
behind?
drilled up here, right?
No, he's not actually here anymore. I guess we left him behind. That's fine.
No, he said he was going to take the high road or high ground or something like that.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
Yeah, he said I'm going to take the high road or high ground or something like that. That's what he said.
Yeah, that was the dialogue box. You didn't
That
see
exactly. Make the Rangers stop.
Then he walked away, but he walked away really quickly. Like, there's some woo in the tush. I don't think he fucking likes us.
Okay, so what's this swamp thing do?
What is this swamp?
Poison.
What is what swamp
Is-
thing?
Did that not come from the swamp? I got poisoned.
I don't think so, actually. I think that was the Rangers. They have apply poison.
Yeah, I'm drinking
Nope,
gulps
I'm
of it
pretty
right
sure it's
now,
the
and it
swamp.
doesn't seem to be doing anything.
It takes your, like, his one tick down.
You're a necromancer. If anyone can survive drinking swamp water straight up, it's gotta be you.
No, Bog Witch. Bog Witch.
Believe it or not, actually, Elysia
I-
is the one who really enjoys some swamp water.
Oh boy. Oh. Those grasping ghouls didn't like me very much.
Oh, also, the voice I use for Portrait Dobson is he kind of says everything like this.
Again, the most Rutskarn character energy.
Yeah. He also doesn't know, like, jack shit about Cthulhu.
Right.
Like, he gets
I mean,
the dreams.
obviously.
But, yeah, he gets, like, the dreams and shit. And, like, he's been to Rilia. And he's like, oh, there's a terrible earthquake. There's not a straight angle in the whole place.
Hey, let's get this guy over here before rushing those guys. I think
There's a
he's
running
just
joke.
by himself.
There's a running joke where there's a scholar in the party who's, like, kind of the guy who actually knows everything. And, like, he keeps trying to engage him in intellectual discussions about religion as, like, a cleric, and he keeps, like, deferring to Dobson, who visibly is, like, dumber than he is. At one point, like, just there's something happening with, a extramarital affair, and Dobson leans over to the wizard, like, you know what Cthulhu has to say about extramarital affairs? He's like, no, what? He's like, I'm asking you, do you have any idea what he has to say about this? Since it's been a running joke, and every time he says, well, do you know what Cthulhu thinks about this? Every time someone in the party is like, no, what? While the others are just like already face-palming.
I mean,
That won't fucking die.
if you're a cleric of the Cthulhu religion, it's probably considered virtuous to have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, right? Like,
So, the thing is, the rulebook has no, like... So the rulebook doesn't have specific gods that you worship that are different from each other. It's a one-size-fits-all, like, cleric thing. It just says, like, the alignment of the god you worship matters, and then there's just a list of gods for each alignment that it does not explain, like, in any way. But there's homebrew content for some gods that make them like basically subclasses, like variant classes. So I picked Cthulhu because he was just listed as a neutral god, and I thought it was a funny idea.
May your soul
And
Why
then
would
the
Cthulhu be a
GMs
neutral god?
But I mean, Cthulhu doesn't
Your
give a
bravery
shit.
is unquestionable. Your honor unmatched.
I guess that's true.
I mean, all he does is
kind of
scream.
beyond.
I thank you greatly.
I mean,
for
eventually
your
he's gonna
service.
like eat everybody,
Our
but
founder, Saul D'Alessio himself would have been proud to call you his
not
friends.
eat. Actually, I
As
read the
promised,
story
your
recently. I
request
think
for
it just
entrance
kind of
to
implied
Lion's
like
Arch has been granted. You and your
it
fellow
wasn't actually
Astarons are
clear.
welcome here.
Lovecraft just basically
Come.
assumed that
I will escort
you
you
would
to
think
town
that
personally.
since this was
You will make
being
sure
done by
you
people who
receive a
weren't
proper
like
reception.
Nordic or Anglo-Saxon, that it was probably a bad thing.
Yeah, as I remember, like the Call of Cthulhu, like the whole threat is like he'll wake up, and obviously that would be like an unthinkably bad thing to happen without ever explaining why.
I can't commit to the details. I will say that almost every story Lovecraft
Welcome
writes is
to
racist.
Lion's Arch.
That one is the only one
Yes.
I think that's racist in a way that's like a plot hole. Like it's so racist
Right, it's
that
like-
it doesn't tell the story.
It's the
like
voodoo
how-
people doing voodoo things, right? Like that was the angle in that one.
It's not even that coherent. It's kind of like there's a rainbow coalition of people who aren't white, and they're up to some
Right.
shit. I have no idea what it is.
Scepter of Ore.
No, some of them are white, just like not the right kind of white.
Yeah, I mean this was like the 20s.
Does Cthulhu have like a canonical size?
Like a mile high, yeah.
Jesus,
big.
that is not what I picture.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. The only game I think that actually depicts him like that I can remember is the most recent bad one.
There are so many games that could fit into that. Like I can't even imagine which one you're talking about.
No, it's like the,
The
most recent bad
3D
Cthulhu game.
one,
Professor Dorian will hold back the undead for as long as we
the
can.
one that came out like 5 years ago
It was more than 5 years ago, but yeah, that one.
with like the vampire voice actor being the protagonist.
Yeah, that was. Let's see.
Run, you little fool, run. I have all the time in the world.
I want to be that guy.
The scepter will
That
be
was
mine again
7
soon.
years ago.
God damn
Everything
it.
proceeds according to
I've had that on my
prophecy.
list to play for a while.
It's fine.
It's on my Steam Deck. All right, we made it. Didn't you see all the talk about the refugees in that mission? Right? Like they wouldn't just completely abandon that plot line and now there's something else totally unrelated happening for the rest of the campaign, right?
No.
If you didn't get that from my sarcasm, yes, that is exactly what happens. Like the Ascalonian plotline is done, aside from a few side quests, which we will do here just because we have time. And the rest of the game is about like the undead and the White Mantle and some other people we haven't met yet. We do go back to the Shiver Peaks for a bit, and kind of wrap that up without actually really, wrapping that up in a satisfactory manner. We basically just kill the Stone Summit leader and then leave and never show back up again. But yeah, like the Ascalonian stuff has nothing to do with the rest of the game. It's done. One guy from the Ascalonian plotline comes back at the end of the game as kind of a like, hey, remember this? But that's it. Which is why I think this is a decent place to stop. If unless we were really gonna go for the whole campaign, which I think we've kind of run out of steam on this game now.
Yeah, we'll save this for the Guild Wars anniversary special in 40 years.
Look at all these Halloween-themed people. If only you could turn into candy
brethren.
corn.
I don't have it on me right now. Leave me alone.
Anyway, this is Lion's Arch,
Sick town.
the main hub city of Guild Wars Prophecies, kind of the main hub city of the franchise. It shows up again in Guild Wars 2, although by that point it's been flooded and completely rebuilt. And then also it gets destroyed during the limited time only Living World Season 1, and now the most recent variation of Lion's Arch is just made of a bunch of boats, which I think looks dumb. I got some rants I could go on, honestly. Like, if you haven't noticed, just looking around at the NPCs here, there aren't a lot of white guys around. Most of the like Krita is kind of vaguely Polynesian themed, you know, like or some kind of like Southeast Asian themed or something. And then by the time of Guild Wars 2, it's all just it's white people. I mean, there are non-white people too, but like it's just European Renaissance, maybe like Renaissance Italy kind of styling. All of this particular character just gets jettisoned because we can't have the humans operating in a society that is not like just generic medieval fantasy / Renaissance fantasy.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Anyway, so the real problem with this as the hub zone is that the maximum party size in this game is actually 8. But the maximum party size here in this part of the Prophecies campaign is 6. So if you want to travel here with a party of 8, you have to break the party, which is kind of a pain in the ass.
There's something very interesting to me about the hub areas in this game, because they have the kind of aesthetic and the feel of being cities, without the actual, like, city part. It's basically just like
there's no, like, interiors or anything.
It feels like you took the rides out of Six Flags.
Yes, it is very much like a Disney World town kind of thing with these settlements.
Actually, you know what else feels like you took the rides out of Six Flags?
Many things. Disney World.
I was going to say Six Flags because the rides at Six Flags are never fucking running.
That's true. It's been maybe a decade since I've been to a Six Flags, but I do remember having problems with that.
I lived near Six Flags for a while, where people would like come up there like, the Six Flags is closed, and we'd be like, nope, it's still going. It's just all the rides you can see from the highway aren't running. But don't worry, every other ride will have a 4-hour line.
Yeah. All right, let's go follow up in as much as one can in this game with this is the Eye of the North shit that's going on too with do we need to pick this up from someone? I thought they should just be standing here. You know what, maybe we need to oh, you know what, they might be in the village up ahead.
So I actually was not 100% done with the Cthulhu interlude.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, they just have the gods in the book, but they don't tell you anything about them, and they all work the same. So in some ways, picking Cthulhu is like, I thought it was funny because it was very unsuited to this character, or I guess suited to this character, but not in a way that would help him any. But also because it's a little bit like a prank at that point. Like, if rulebook lets you flavor your generic cleric powers as any god. The funniest god to pick is Cthulhu because it like puts a burden of explanation on the GM and also raises the question of why aren't you like going insane? Like this is like why is poor shitty Dobson just perfectly functional as much as any Dungeon Crawl Classics character anyway? And then the GM found like a homebrewed version of Cthulhu, or maybe it was like from an official release or something, and then tweaked that. And the thing about it is that it is like the perfect repost to my GM trolling because it fucking sucks. It's awful. Like the consequences of failing a spell are really bad, and sometimes the consequences of succeeding are also pretty bad.
I mean, like, even just the fact that Cthulhu operates in a way that allows a cleric to do divine magic is really weird, actually.
And it's consistent with, like, Lovecraft, basically, that you'd have, like... You could have, like, a totem or something of Cthulhu that, like, you would use somewhat. And it's like, cleric magic in Dungeon Crawl Classics is specifically referred to as idol magic. It's not like faith magic.
Okay.
Yeah, what the fuck? I was just spinning peacefully here, and all of a sudden I'm on fire. Die.